everyone, this is Pooka, and welcome to another week of Bad Deck Monday, where we take some silly ideas and try to put them into action. Sometimes they work, sometimes they fail miserably, but it's all about having fun. And this deck for this edition of Bad Deck Monday is going to revolve around Gallade and Ho-Oh EX. So Gallade has an attack, I think it's called Powerful Storm or something like that. I'll find out when it comes up. But it does 20 damage times the number of energy you have in play. Then Ho-Oh EX has the Rebirth ability, which allows you to, if you flip heads, you can pull out of the discard with 3 different types of energy and attach them to the Ho-Oh. So the idea is to use Ho-Oh's Rebirth to get a bunch of energy in play, and then use Gallade's attack to do a lot of damage. Now this has a lot of holes. There are a lot of flaws with this strategy. Number one is you need a lot of energy in play to actually use Gallade's attack effectively. I mean, if you're not knocking him out in one hit, you're probably not winning. Number two, Ho-Oh is on a flip, so it's not very reliable. And also it's difficult to actually get all the Ho-Ohs and the energy into the discard pile so that you can actually take advantage of Rebirth in the first place. So, keeping all that in mind, the deck really doesn't work very well all the time, but we'll see if we can pull something off here. Looks like we're up against some kind of Virizion Genesect deck, probably. We see Virizion and Deoxys. We even see a Leaf Wallop Virizion out there. I wonder what that's for. Might just be a nice non-EX attacker. My Sigilif is in the active spot, that's going to be nice. Has Safeguard, going to be protected from Virizion EX. EX Pokemon cannot harm the Pokemon with the Safeguard abilities. So Sigilif is going to be safe for the time being. Alright, so we have a Skyla here. And I didn't really know what to take. I had an awkward hand with 2 double colorless energy and a Juniper. And basically a lot of cards I just don't want to Juniper away. So I'm going to go ahead and take an N with my Skyla and use Tropical Beach. So my opponent puts down a Frozen City. That's going to be a little annoying. Now I'm going to take 20 damage every time I attach an energy to one of my Pokemon. So that's not good. I'm going to be softened up. But here we get hit by an Emerald Slash for a whopping 0. Big old donut because of Safeguard, which says nope. Emerald Slash, no thanks. But anyway, so we're going to attach that double colorless to Sigilif. We already have the Psychic Energy on there. Might as well try to go on the offensive. And you can see my opponent's actually powering up that Virizion, saying, alright, I'm not having none of this Sigilif nonsense. We're not going to lose the no Safeguard. And it's probably a smart idea. Alright, so here all I can really do is Psychic for 70 damage. Which isn't bad. You know, we can soften up Virizion EX. If it stays there, we can get a Gallade next turn. You know, get a knockout. And that's good. Knockouts are good. And then you get to take prize cards, which means you're closer to winning. All of these are good things. Well, we'll see if we can actually achieve them. Alright, so we see all sorts of stuff coming out. A Floatstone, a Team Plasma badge. By the way, my hand is horrible. At least I have a rare candy and an Ultra Ball, but beyond that, it's really bad. And this Virizion comes out, and it actually has a Team Plasma badge on it, so it gets a boost from those Deoxys EX on the bench, which have the Power Connect ability. All Team Plasma Pokemon do plus 10 damage when they attack. So now Virizion, thanks to the Team Plasma badge, is indeed a Team Plasma Pokemon, which means it will do 60 instead of 40 for the Leaf Wallop. And Sigilif survives with 10 HP, but you can only take 10 more damage before it gets knocked out. Alright, so I drew a double colorless energy here, which was huge, because that means I get to Ultra Ball. We'll get rid of that Fairy energy. Yeah, that's legal. That's a type now. If you were wondering what that weird looking card was, it was a Fairy energy. I run every type of energy in this deck. So we're going to Ultra Ball for a Gallade, play a Switch. After we rare candied our Ralt into that, put down a double colorless and Powerful Storm for 120 damage. So alright, we have 6 energy in play. 60 times 2 is, well, 120. I don't know why I said 60. It's 6 times 20. That is 120 for Powerful Storm. Anyway, so that gets a knockout on the regular Virizion. Take the first prize, but Gallade's probably going to go down here. All my opponent needs is a Team Plasma, or Plasma Energy, and that Deoxys already has a Psychic, so he can use Helix Force and knock me out. But actually, my opponent decided to attach a Plasma Energy to Genesect EX, and it uses a red signal to bring out Ralts, and then uses Emerald Slash. I'm really confused by this one. If I had been hit by Helix Force here, my Gallade would have went down, and that probably wouldn't have been good, considering I only have one card. But yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on here. Not sure why my opponent decided to go for the Ralts with the energy on it. Now I can just retreat it, whereas I would have had to pay to retreat. And if I wanted to attach, I actually would have knocked out a Ralts because of Frozen City, but I don't really know what's going on. I'm not complaining too much, though. So we're going to go ahead and Ultra Ball, get a Ho-Oh EX in the discard pile. This is good. Now we can start using Rebirth if we need to. We already have a bunch of energy in the discard pile. I could take another Ho-Oh for next turn, so I can get multiple Rebirths after I Juniper next turn. But I'm going to just take another Kirlia since Gallade is my main attacker. And you know, we may as well use Ho-Oh at this point, probably. I don't like putting it out because it could be a target for a red signal and then a G booster, and it can just give up 2 prizes. But what the heck, we'll just get a bunch of energy in play. Let's just do it. Grab 3 different types of energy and Powerful Storm for 160. Look at that. Look at how much damage we're doing now. Alright, maybe this deck's not as bad as I thought. It probably is. But at least we're having some fun here. Alright, so we actually have a 3-prize lead on this Virizion Genesect deck, using nothing but Gallade's Powerful Storm attack. We used 1 Psychic from Sigilyph, but the rest has been all Gallade all the way. And it just seems very strange to me. We'll see what else does happen here, though. We get the grass onto the Genesect EX. My opponent seems to be favoring attacking with Genesect over the Deoxys, even though there's a Ho-Oh sitting there with 3 energy on it already. Kind of puzzling. I would think using Deoxys here would be the best route, since there's no guarantee for me to return a knockout. You know, Sigilyph would only do 140 with Psychic, so I'm not really sure what my opponent's really doing here, but looks like there's going to be a Megalo Cannon with the 2 Deoxys that will do 120, knocking out my Gallade after I put up a mighty fight there. And Ho-Oh will take 20 damage, which is big because that's going to set up a knockout with Helix Force with Deoxys. Alright, so here I'm just going to Ultra Ball. We'll use this Ultra Ball to get another Ho-Oh in the discard pile. Might as well do that. And then Juniper my hand away. I should probably draw an energy off of this, but oh, looks like that's a big old nope. Did not get another type of energy. You do need 4 different types of energy for Ho-Oh to use Rainbow Burn to knock out a Genesect. A lot of people think Ho-Oh is a really good counter to Genesect, but I really don't think it is, because it takes 4 energy to knock it out, and 4 different types at that. So it's actually tougher to use Ho-Oh to counter Genesect than you would think, but here we are going to make Genesect taste the rainbow. God, I screwed up the execution of that horribly. Taste the rainbow. There we go. And yeah, Rainbow Burn for 200. Taking down the Genesect in 1 hit. And now we were down to 1 prize. But we have left ourselves pretty darn vulnerable to that N fella. Who would make us shuffle in and draw 1 card at this point. That would not be very good. So hopefully we don't see one of those dudes. He is a real pain once you're down to 1 prize. But nope, looks like just a Helix Force, and that means we should probably win the game right here. As long as I get a heads on Rebirth or draw a double colorless. We're going to Rebirth here. Tails, Rebirth, and a heads. Alright. And I think that's it. Going to take back 3 different types of energy with The rebirth ability, Ho-Oh rises from the ashes like the phoenix that it is. Can attach to the Gallade energy switch and energy from the Ho-Oh over to the Gallade. And then we can retreat. And go figure, powerful Storm for 240 to win the game. I really didn't expect this deck to work. I've tried it in the past and it really wasn't that good. But here we took down Virizion Genesect with relative ease, I would say. Gallade and Ho-Oh. Maybe this is another deck that could end up being decent. Who knows, or I could just remain on Bad Deck Monday forever. So that's going to wrap up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll definitely have some more videos for you guys soon. This is Pooka from the Top Cut, and I will see you guys next time.